edge defender is not part of the conversation with Washington right now, but
No.
let's go there because there were some big names out
Yeah.
there signing the last day.
Right.
Who counts as your best fits? And I'm going to throw out here Yannick Ngakoue to the Raiders,
right.
Bud Dupree to the Titans, Carl Lawson Jets, Trey Hendrickson to the Bengals, and a lot of big names still available. So we'll get to those guys. But of those who have signed, what do you like most?
They're all good. That's the one thing. If I took one theme from yesterday,
Like them all?
well, it was smart signings. It wasn't like, hey,
Think about what you just said with edge rushers. Smart
I know,
signings,
I
free
know,
agent.
I know.
Doesn't always go that way.
No, it does not. It's usually a bunch of there's this few splash signings where
Yeah.
it's just like, we want the biggest superstar. We want to show our fans we're willing to spend money, and we're paying this guy
We
all. And you're like,
wasted it.
whoa,
Yeah.
wait, they're doing all this. There was none of that. That's why I think there's some big names still out there because some of those guys in a year again where the cap space is different and lower. There's got to be some different thought process by these teams altogether. All of those guys fit their scheme. They really do. Now, Carl Lawson, I love that. Yeah, Robert Saleh's looking for his Nick Bosa, D Ford type guy that helped them get to the Super Bowl. True pass rusher. Get wide, come off the edge, and just get after the quarterback. And we don't need you to worry about the run all that much, okay? We just want you to create havoc that way. So that's a great system fit. Yannick Ngakoue out with the Raiders. Same defensive system. It's Gus Bradley, Robert Saleh. They were all up in Seattle. Gus Bradley was in Tampa with me, of course, was the old Jacksonville head coach, but they were all up in Seattle at one point in Seattle's prime of the Legion of Boom, and that's the scheme they're running. Raiders need Yannick Ngakoue. I'm not saying that's my second favorite fit, though. So I think I would go, the fit I like the most is Bud Dupree.
Yep.
I mean, Bud Dupree is just a stud, a man's man.
You disappointed Pittsburgh let him out the door?
Yeah, but I mean, with that kind of, I didn't know if anybody would offer that kind of contract with still a torn ACL and no insurance that he's going to be totally 100% by the time the season starts or training camp. I'd have a hard time thinking he's 100% Bud Dupree by week 1 in the NFL season.
Mid-season, though?
Mid-season, you might get there. And I think that's what they're going. They're going, okay, so what? We can deal with him getting his feet back underneath him and all that because he really is, again, this is Vrabel. This is a 3-4 defense, in theory. It's his kind of guy. It's a New England kind of guy. It's like we talked about with Matt Judon. Oh, it's a 3-4 this week. He could play outside linebacker. Oh, this week it's more of a 4-3, and we need you to put your hand on the ground and be a defense end in the three-point stands. He can do all that. So that probably is my favorite fit for a team that sucked at rushing the quarterback. That was a good job by them. Hendrickson with the Cincinnati on the last one, that one to me is just, they threw a lot of money at him for the first year. And he's the one that you've heard me say, I just go, I don't know how much money I would have thrown at a guy who I believe got 6 sacks the first 3 years of his career and then last year had this big year. And Carl Lawson's the same thing. But Carl Lawson is more injury related. When Carl Lawson is healthy, it's consistent poppage on the film. Consistent poppage. That's a technical term.
That's new,
Yeah. But it is, where you're always like, man, who is this guy off the edge? And now the health, they're risking it with that. But I liked all those fits for the most part is what I'm saying. But Dupree and Lawson, I guess, were my favorite. It's
such a coveted position this time of year. I want to get to your favorite of the still available before we move on. So Jadeveon Clowney, Melvin Ingram, Aldon Smith, Carlos Dunlap, Hassan Reddick, Justin Houston. Anybody jump out there of those left? If you missed out on the top 4 or 5, we're going to get one. Which one would you like there?
Same again. There's Reddick, Yannick, Justin
Dunlap.
Houston, Dunlap.
Ingram, Smith, Clowney.
Yeah, I mean, Clowney it's risky with the injury and with injury history and all of that. So, I mean, when he's healthy, he's still probably the most beastly of that crew.
Mm-hmm.
I
thought you'd say Melvin Ingram.
Well, I'm getting there. It's going to be who I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Hassan Reddick. He's, again, a guy that can do a lot of different things for a defense. I mean, literally can put him at middle linebacker, outside linebacker, 4-3 defensive end. But I'm sure because of his stats and everything else, he's probably priced himself a little high. And as for these teams are going, wait, we're not going to pay you for, your 4-game sack output last year that you basically had.
Yeah.
That to me there. So, yeah, Melvin Ingram is the guy. There's no doubt. Now, he's a little banged up. He's had those issues too. But to me, it's the most consistent player. And I would think Melvin Ingram's still got a good 2-3 years left in the tank. And he can do everything well on the edge of that defense.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.